Well, here we are. From those opening shots, I came down through the Cotswolds this morning. Really nice journey down, very scenic. And I've made my way to Oxford. And I'm doing a little bit of a trail, this is the canal actually, going into Oxford. So yeah, it's been very busy getting in. There's lots of joggers, dog walkers and cyclists coming along here, very popular. And there's a train line to the right of the canal that presumably goes into Oxford. But yeah, very scenic and a nice place to park eventually. It's fairly crowded and there are parking restrictions during the week, but at weekends they're lifted so you can actually park. So I park next to the Plough Inn, and it's a little bit of a trolley walk down to get the kayak in, but that's fine. And I've put the trolley in the back of the kayak because I might need that when we get a little bit further down. So weather-wise today, it's about, I'm guessing 5 degrees. It said 6 degrees on the car, but that's normally a little bit warmer. So I'm thinking perhaps 5 degrees. So yes, do have pogies, obviously dry suit. And I've seen a couple of kayakers already, and they're competitive kayakers that I think are from the club in Oxford. According to one of them I chatted with back by the car, this is a popular spot for people just to do sprint training and small distance training. So nice to see people as usual out on the water. And there we go, there's a train. If you wanted that train, you perhaps missed it. So some fishermen coming up, so I'm going to go river left, canal left even. And nice to see the little one with a blinkside on there. So I think he's seen us. Yep, so hopefully it'll be okay. Thank you. So the reason for selecting this stretch is I am working in North London tomorrow. So it's Saturday today, so Sunday I'm working in North London doing D&V, in-school training day. So I thought as this is on the way, it's an ideal opportunity. So I have worked plenty of times around the Oxford area, but I haven't paddled this bit of the canal. We're coming up to what looks like a railway bridge, because although this is fairly scenic out here, we are fairly close to the centre of Oxford. Yes, this looks like a railway bridge. Maybe a diver off of the line that goes down the side of the canal. Went up to a narrow bit here. Not sure why that is. Plenty of live on boards, especially as we get closer to the city. So nice little swing bridge there, obviously in the up position so that I can get through with my new camera mount. Well, maybe not. So these boats are a little bit in need of modernisation, but I'm guessing still serviceable, still watertight. Somebody feeding the birds over there. Hello. So you can see the houses come right down to the water now, on pretty much on both sides. Yeah, on both sides. So we're now getting into Oxford, and this canal that I'm paddling down is actually a dead end. So not much further down it will be a dead end. But there might be a little plan to go over to the river, so that is why I've packed the trolley, just in case we can do that. Obviously water levels at the moment are pretty high, but you never know. Elizabeth Jennings Way Bridge. Nicely painted with a Shire horse. And of course, Oxford, synonymous with the university, Oxford University, and all of its associated buildings and colleges that are around the Oxford area. Mainly in the centre of Oxford, I have to say. And then on the outskirts is Oxford Brookes University, which is not associated with Oxford University. I sort of hate to say that really, but it's a different university. And these houses on the left, look, they've got moorings as well. How brilliant. Yeah, really cool. This is Frenchay Road Bridge. It's nice they're painted up. Slightly better than the graffiti you sometimes see. The beautiful swans. As I said, quite a few people have got watercraft that are ready by the banks of the canal. Of course this is canal, so it's not a river, so it's unlikely to flood. And looking at the way the water level is against their houses, it's only a couple of feet, so presumably this water level is controlled fairly aggressively when it starts to flood in local areas, and it's not going to flood the houses here. So 3 swans. It's going to be a little, oh, 4 swans, that's okay. I was going to be a little bit wary because 3 swans might be mum, dad and child, and they can be aggressive. But 4, and I think actually they are younger swans, looking at the grey, possibly. Still got some grey in their feathers, so they may still be young. So Oxford, fairly close to London. Journey time similar to when I did the Reading trip. Journey times into London, I'll investigate and I'll perhaps put on the screen, but my guess is under an hour to get into London from here. And that makes this again like a mini suburb of London. People clearly living here, house prices fairly high, and some celebrities live here. I did, when I was getting the kayak ready to get in, Alexander Armstrong walked past. He was walking his dog with his partner. So yeah, there are obviously some celebrities live here. I didn't feel applicable to ask him to sign up to the channel. Perhaps he's a little bit above that. But nice to see him out and yeah, enjoying himself on a Saturday morning. Right, so there was a little bit of a corner there. We've come round, and actually somebody is cooking a remarkable lunch because it smells absolutely lovely. That could be one of the live on boards. Just to cover licences as well, if you're unsure about licences needed on here, you can. It is operated by the Canal and River Trust, as is most of the canals in the UK, and you do need a licence, and the licence through Paddle UK is your best value way of getting it, or it's the best value I find of getting it, and that gives you a licence to go on the canal here. You can also get your licence directly from the Canal and River Trust, and you get some other benefits as well. It's up to you how you do that. And sometimes they do say you must display your Paddle UK number, your payment number, your member number. I don't do that, perhaps I should, but if anybody asks, I've got an electronic copy of it on my phone anyway, and if necessary I've got a printed copy of it back in the car, so I can actually go and fetch it and show people should they need it. But in this modern age of communication, the electronic version should be perfectly acceptable in most cases. So a bit more of a fallen down building there, perhaps being renovated. Some kind of barn. Maybe in the days of the heyday of the canal, perhaps that was some kind of storage or loading area for canal boats. Does look like there used to be some kind of dock there. That's obviously long gone. And yes, you can see the mix of stone being used. We are very close to the Cotswolds, so a lot of houses will be Cotswold stone or that type of stone. And it does look beautiful. It's very bright, very light colour compared to standard bricks, and it sort of weathers down to a slightly duller colour, but it doesn't ever go kind of black. So it's nice, keeps the houses very nice. And then you've got traditional brick structures as well. As with all my trips, it's always nice to talk to people, so just chatting to somebody that was pruning the roses at the end of their garden, and yeah, found out that those houses on the right hand side are residential at the moment, so we've got to go quite a bit further before they become part of the university buildings, and probably even past the lot. So the lady wasn't sure, but very pleasant to have a little quick chat. So some people storing their canoes and kayaks back there, upside down like that, so the water doesn't go in it. Others actually leaving it in the water, tied to the side, and of course when it rains it fills up with water. So that puts a bit of a stress on the canoe, so if you are storing it, better to store it upside down so it doesn't fill with water. Almost every house along here has got some kind of craft. They haven't got craft, they've got paddles, so presumably there's a craft somewhere. Mostly canoes, but sometimes small boats like the one on the left just now. 31338. And then back into the canal boat. So I guess if you've got mooring, you could moor a canal boat outside your house. Although that is got a chimney boat. Oh, that's not outside a house, so that's probably a houseboat. Under another bridge. And that lady I was speaking to did say that the railway station is not far down here. So that is obviously Oxford Station. I think there's only one in Oxford, some places have a couple. Worcester's got 3. And that appears, that district we've just come from, appears to be called Jericho. So that's maybe like a suburb of Oxford. And on the right there we've got a moorhen. Is that going into the water? Is it a moorhen or a coot? I will identify which one that is. Interestingly, the canal boats are too wide on the left, as in 2, the number 2 times 2 wide on the left hand side, and there is a tiny gap going through the middle. So we are following Mr. Swan, or Mrs. Swan, through the middle. I'm assuming this is getting to the end of this bit of the canal, which you'll no doubt find out. Oh, it says college cruises there. So maybe we are a little bit down to the college. Mr. Swan is getting a bit anxious, so I'm just going to slow down a bit. So you can hear that squealing of brakes. That's the train line. Train on the train line further down. Right, that canal boat's called Magdalene, which I think is the name of one of the colleges down here. So, Jericho Wharf, Canal Side Urban Regeneration Project. Nice. And this looks like the lock. So this is the end of this stretch of canal. I say hesitantly because look, it goes to the left down there. So let's carry on. Forget what I said then. It's just the lock. Keep going. So always nice to see bridges like that all painted up, and that's usually done by the Canal and River Trust. They maintain these canals. And it does say Oxford Canal Terminus. Yeah, let's paddle down, we'll go have a look. So, as predicted, we have arrived at the end. So we'll get out and have a little look. So I've got out here at the end of this terminus and I've had a little look at the river that's on the other side, and it's not fast flowing, but there is a little bit of flow on it. And I think if I actually travel down that, then try and paddle back up under the bridges, that's going to be pretty tough. So I'm just going to turn around here and paddle back along the canal.